Hey everyone, real quick here. Not really an overly, immense reaction to Lions and Bears. Oh my, here on Thanksgiving. Um, but my reaction is the obvious one. Matt Eberflus needs to go. This was the worst, one of the single worst coaching blunders I've ever seen at the professional level. I've never seen anything like this. To butcher a clock to this degree at the end of the game. It's going to be easy to, pinpoint Caleb Williams. Could he have run a play a lot quicker? He's a rookie quarterback. Let's give Caleb Williams a little bit of a break here, okay? But to have more than 30 seconds left on that clock when the sack happens and to only run one play and have one timeout in your bag going home to Chicago is it's inexcusable to botch a clock to that degree, lose a game like that when you're in position on the road. You are in position on the road, the Chicago Bears, after being down in this game for the entire time, to beat a one-loss team, one of the best teams in professional football in the Detroit Lions. By the way, congrats to the Lions for starting the season a franchise best 11-1. They're the best team in football, and I think they might. I think they are right now, to me, the favorite to win the Super Bowl. I mean, the Chiefs are obviously going to be in people's minds, and the Bills as well, and then the Eagles. It's really those four teams, but the Lions have played the best of anybody. But for the Bears to now be sitting at 4-8, and the reason why I've been looking down at my computer for the last couple minutes is to just look at what has transpired since they are now currently on 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. They're on a 6-game losing streak now. 6-game losing streak. And there are now 4 games since their bye when they after they beat Jacksonville in London. They come off the bye. They have the lead. They have that disastrous Hail Mary. Go watch the video of how I thought that they completely botched that. And there was a lot of pieces that went into coaching and how to manage that. And, the aftermath of that, I think, is stemmed off the rest of the season. Tyreek Stevenson totally with some inexcusable behavior, but that's on coaching. Like, you have to have your players, locked in at the end of that game. They get blown out by the Cardinals. They get blown out by the Patriots at home, which is inexcusable. You lose on a last-second field goal where you play for the field goal against the Packers rather than try to go win the game. You get a field goal block. That loses the game. You lose in overtime last week to the Vikings. And then this week, you can't even get a last-second field goal opportunity because your rookie quarterback gets sacked because the line can't block, which has been a problem the whole season. And then you try to get everybody lined up. They take forever to run a play, and the only chance that they have is a last-second heave towards the end zone that has no hope in hell of being completed. So this is what we call a tarmac game in the world of sports. It's happened to Lane Kiffin. It's happened to a bunch of other coaches. I would not allow Matt Eberflus to get on the team plane or hell, give him the decency of, flying him back to Chicago and on the tarmac at O'Hare, basically be like, or Midway, wherever they land, and basically, and if you're Ryan Pace, the general manager, and if you're the ownership, you get on that tarmac as Matt Eberflus is leaving the plane saying, hey, thank you for all you've done for our organization. We're firing you. 6-game losing streak on Thanksgiving, nationally televised game against the best team in football. You're in position to potentially tie or win the game, and you don't even get a chance to do that because of your clock management. How 30 seconds gets run off this clock and how they don't stop the game. I don't care if it's a 3rd and 26. Like, you practice situations like this where if the ball is complete in bounds, you run your field goal team out there and do a fire drill. We've seen college teams do that to success. We saw BYU do that earlier this year. We saw TCU do it a couple years ago. You're a professional football team. You should be prepared for this type of stuff. He froze, whatever, I don't care. But that is just time management botching to the nth degree. And if I'm a Bears fan, I'm livid. I'm livid at this situation because you cannot have that type of situation happen in any game, let alone against a team that You are in position to potentially tie or beat that only has one loss this season. You're 4-8 with the number one quarterback who played really, really well in this game. Caleb Williams was outstanding in this game. And we're going to blame Caleb Williams for the way that was ended? Like, he threw for 256 and 3 touchdowns. That's not Caleb Williams' fault. Like what's happening here? Like, we've been having this conversation weekly about it, Matt Eberflus. And it started with that Washington game. I don't think this team has psychologically been there. And, Matt, you need a really good coach to keep a team together after a deflating loss like that. But this should be the end. They've now got an extended break, Thursday to Sunday. They should just fire him. They absolutely should just fire him. And it's just, if you're Detroit, you survived, you advanced, that's what you need to do. Wasn't a perfect game. They were up for most of the game. But like I said, when you build yourself and the Lion and the Bears get a chance to put themselves in a position to do that, and then to have your coach do that, it's bad. There was also a challenge where, like, they overturned a call on the field in the first quarter that I saw, where it was very clearly an incomplete pass, and Matt Eberflus still challenged it and lost it easily. And he's not good. But I think there's a stat like he's 5-16 or 5-17 in one-score games or something like that. The evidence is there already, and we've been talking about this for weeks. We were surprised that he came back to start this season with a rookie quarterback, but the Bears made that decision to go with him. They seem to be in a good place after the bye, and since that point, they've lost 6 in a row. It's just not going well for this team, and I can understand why you want to pinpoint Caleb Williams. He could have snapped the ball a lot quicker rather than signaling people back, but regardless, there were at least 2 opportunities for Matt Eberflus in that situation to call a timeout. I think there was 32 seconds when he took the sack. First opportunity to do that. Then, on some level, I could understand why you want to try and get everybody lined up to see if you can try to run another play before you utilize that timeout. But once that clock gets under 20 seconds, you have got to save as much time as you can. And they didn't do that. The play didn't even get snapped until under 10. Like, once you see your team in trouble, you can't let them figure it out, let alone with a rookie quarterback. That is 100% on coaching. Like, you cannot leave your team out to dry like that. That is just so unbelievably bad. And the fact that this isn't going to get drowned away, the other 2 games are, Packers and Dolphins later might actually be a decent game. Lions and Bears was the interesting one just because the Lions are so great and Caleb Williams. But now you got Cowboys Giants. Nobody's going to give a shit about that game. This is going to be front page news for the rest of the day and going into Friday before the Chiefs play on Black Friday against the Raiders. Like, this is when stuff like this happens, coaches get fired. And I said it at the top of this video, the only takeaway that you can have from this game, congratulations, obviously, the Lions, but that's going to fall into second place. Matt Eberflus cannot coach this team another game. And I'd be stunned if, we don't hear before the end of the day that he's been fired. I will be stunned. Because that was one of it was probably the worst coaching blunder I've ever seen at a professional level. I've never seen anything like that. I've seen Mario Cristobal do some pretty stupid things at the college level, but at the NFL level, to let 30 seconds and tick off the clock and only run one play when you are down 3 points and close to field goal range and one timeout is completely inexcusable. There's no excuse for it. I don't know what he'll say at the podium. Fire him. Just fire him. I don't advocate for people's jobs, but fire him. Okay. That I needed to get that off my chest. Happy Thanksgiving, everybody. If you're the Bears fan, you'll be thankful if Matt Eberflus gets fired. I'll talk to you guys soon. Bye-bye.